Hello, hello. How are we doing? How are we do? I didn't even check if the mic's picking stuff up. The mic is picking stuff up. That makes my life a whole lot easier. Well, yeah. I'm just also making sure the right mic is selected. WWE 2008. Here we are again. Excuse me. I never know what music to play on these. I can never remember what games are chill with you playing their music and which ones get aggy. Because I've got a few copyright strikes as time's gone on. Not strikes, just videos have been flagged for copyright. All that jazz. And that's why I typically use... I feel really loud. That's why I typically use RuneScape stuff. Or Minecraft. Because they don't care. Basically. And I feel like Terraria should be the same way. I'm not fully certain, but I think Terraria is the same. If I come out with a strike after uploading this, then that's why. Just a bit of an update from the previous stream. I still have an ulcer under my tongue, which hurts a lot. Isn't very nice. Don't really enjoy it, if I'm honest. But that's fine. That's what we have to deal with. It's not necessarily the end of the world. It's got a little better, so it's better. It just does kind of hurt. Sure, that's fine. After a while when speaking, I did think it was a whole lot better until I started doing this. Trevor Murdoch is copying Chris Jericho. John Cena has an angle idea. Paul Burchill and Katie Lee are getting on well. JBL and Julian Hall got in a row. So I started to play a 2004 save at the same time. WWE Raw opening. And I'm enjoying that a lot, actually. Kind of getting ready for the future of wrestling when doing it. One thing that isn't pivotal that I'd like to work on in this mod is just getting a bit more cohesion behind the pictures. Like, some of these are great, like the close-ups like this, perfect. White background, perfect. Some of them just need to be a little closer, and some of them have a black background instead, so it's like, ugh. But we'll deal with it. Someone's knocking on some doors outside. And whilst I don't think my door needs to be knocked on, I don't know what's going on. Should we check if I have an email? I mean, it isn't my flat that's just been opened by a key, so we'll carry on. Here is the new #1 contender Triple H to get things going. Triple H talks about how happy he is, because last year he was getting ready to go watch WrestleMania from a wheelchair backstage. And now he is back where he belongs, and he's going to be a 12-time champion. But here is Orton to interrupt. Orton says this title reign started with Triple H, who he beat to become the champion 4 years ago. Triple H was jealous of Orton because Orton was much better. Cue John Cena to interrupt as well, because he wants to wait. Cena accuses Orton of losing his way into WrestleMania, so tonight, let's have a rematch for the title, with the winner facing Triple H. Orton appeals to Triple H, who doesn't really care who he faces at WrestleMania. Cue William Regal to say Triple H is going to WrestleMania no matter what, but tonight, Orton will face Cena in a non-title match. We can start to write. Regal books Orton versus Cena. If Cena wins, he moves on to the main event of WrestleMania in a triple threat. Cena wins. WrestleMania becomes a triple threat. Nice. So is that the storyline? Cena versus Orton. That's fine. We could probably end this storyline. So it's Cena versus Orton versus Triple H. I assume it's going to be a triple threat. Though I don't really remember this WrestleMania, so this is during my blind spot of not watching it all. So William Regal, no, John Cena, Triple H, and Randy. 8 minutes in the ring? Is everyone fine being scripted? Yes, they are. What if in 10 years some random billionaire superfan comes along and puts together a wrestling company? I would say that's nothing but good for the business. But that would, thinking back on that then, or even like a couple of years before, just being like a billionaire's son is going to start a wrestling company, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be dog shit and no one's going to like it. Like, do you remember when you used to do saves on, I don't know, TEW 2013, and you were like, oh, I'm going to start my own company and give myself a bunch of money in a TV deal. And like maybe 2 months into it, you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've signed a bunch of people. Like, you almost always sign Scott Steiner for whatever reason. And you're like, I don't fucking know. And then Tony Khan comes along, just does it. Which, fair play. Like, granted, he had Chris Jericho, John Moxley, and indie wrestling had never been at its biggest. I do wonder what would have happened if he did it now. You could still have Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho did flirt with the idea of TNA. But who would be the John Moxley? Brock Lesnar, maybe? Someone that kind of requested Bobby Lashley, maybe? I don't think he lasts much longer now. And kind of dawdles about. And I know, who is it that thinks TNA is going to become number 2? It's not Scott D'Amore. Someone like that. Someone's like, oh, I reckon TNA is going to become the number 2 company, and they're going to... they're never going to take over from AEW. Like, who was it? Maybe it was Eric Bischoff that was saying this. I don't know. But it's just kind of like fucking... They're not. Like, TNA has been an absolutely fine number 2 for the past 20 years. And never have they even come close. AEW at least rivals them. It's nothing like WCW, but they at least rival them. Even during the Monday Night Wars in TNA, it was like, there was never a chance. TNA didn't even do house shows for Bear. Granted, AEW house shows aren't doing great. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, hello Timu, how are you? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. So next up, we have a Money in the Bank qualifying match between Jeff Hardy and Snitsky. Seven minutes should be fine. I'm assuming Jeff wins. Snitsky lets that go and misses a big leg drop, allowing Hardy to hit the Whisper in the Wind. Twist of Fate is blocked and a big boot drops Hardy for 2. The Pump Handle Slam is loaded up, but Hardy reverses into a Twist of Fate. That's enough to set up the Swanton and send Hardy to WrestleMania. Oh, I love it. WrestleMania Money in the Bank. Oh, the novel's still going. That's good to hear, man. I'm really happy that you're kind of sticking to that. Do we have all these people? I've just read the next angle. I'm not just being silent. There we go. The next $1 million franchise. Oh. Well, I support you. And I hope everything goes well. in the novel comes together nicely. How far through do you reckon you are at this point? 'Cause I know you said you were maybe about a third of the way through last time I asked you, maybe a bit more. Shawn Michaels comes out and announces that Ric Flair will be entering the Hall of Fame. Nice. Can I fit WWE for the sake of prosperity? In the ring, I don't know. 3 minutes. Hell yeah. Maybe like halfway through, but that's just draft 1. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it should get easier once you kind of get that base structure. We then get Paul Burchill against Super Crazy. He is super and crazy. 6 minutes. Paul Burchill strikes away to start with curb stomps. Crazy for a very fast pin. There's a lot of polish I gotta do. I have some plot convenience on rewrite. Ah, that's fair. I dread to think how long it actually takes to kind of get something like this to a point where you're happy putting it out there. Randy tries to create an alliance with HHH, who just rejects him. So if I create a storyline, add storyline Raw, Money in the Bank. Or would it be Raw? Or would it just be WWE? Jeff Hardy, and let's just stick Snitsky on a minor. A long time. Of course, one can always pay. Yeah, true. I suppose it makes it a lot easier. Is this the Terraria like soundtracks? This is kind of quite a lot. This is fine. We'll stick the Minecraft music on instead. Yeah, I imagine having an editor, someone that can go through, makes your life so much easier. But we can't all have that money. Ooh, right. So Raw. Last week, hold up, I need to check something. We look back at Big Show returning last week, attacking Rey Mysterio. Does that happen on Raw? Did that happen on SmackDown? Did we do? I'm confused. Oh, the Big Show returns and says he's never been meaner than ever and attacks Rey. That's fine. Recap of Big Show returning at No Way Out. Just a little hype pre-taped or serious pre-taped video. We just need. Ugh, it's on SmackDown. We'll just stick these. Unless Big Show comes out and is on Raw. He is. There's No Way Out a Raw pay-per-view. No, I guess he's on Raw. That's fine. Book segment. Boop boop. Let's remove Chris Jericho and just add Big Show. So this is feud with Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather? We, I believe, have someone coming in. I think we tried to hire someone. I very clearly haven't used them yet. If we go to show history. Yeah, so we haven't hired them yet, so right, that's fine. I believe we have hired a MMA fighter or celebrity to take Floyd Mayweather's place. Is it Mayweather? It is Mayweather, not Merriweather. Big Show apologizes for attacking Rey Mysterio last week, and we'll just leave it at that, and then eventually we'll shoehorn in our fighter. Just Big Show cutting a promo. We'll make his storyline later. We then get a video on Money in the Bank. We can just make this a hype pre-taped video in the ring. Cue all the big men. So I guess... Oh wait, is this... I think Shawn Michaels should be in this storyline. We'll change this to the Nature Boy. Let's remove Mr. Kennedy and add Mr. Kennedy to Money in the Bank. Yeah, video on Money in the Bank. Boom. Do you have a bit of better Mr. Kennedy picture? Ken Anderson. We do not. We do not. That's fine. There is a way we can get more. So we have Val Venus against Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy, with new music, sends Venus shoulder first into the post. Goes after the arm. The armbar goes on. As JR is smart enough to say that Venus is recently back from an elbow injury. Back up, and the mic check sends Kennedy to WrestleMania in a hurry. So Money in the Bank, Mr. Kennedy. Let's stick him over Mr. Venus, who we don't have, I guess. So we'll stick him over Kid Cash. Stick Kennedy over. Nice. We then get Hornswoggle against Vince McMahon in a cage. Finlay comes to ringside and wants to fight Hornswoggle, but is told to get out. Finlay wants to fight for Hornswoggle, but is told to leave. Cue JBL to slam the cage door on the back of Finlay's head, then handcuff him. That means we can at least add JBL to this. JBL attacks him. So we have Hornswoggle, Vince, Finlay. Hornswoggle, Finlay, Vince, John. Nice. 3 minutes should do, maybe. Finlay tells JBL to beat him up instead, but Hornswoggle gets kicked in the head. The fallaway slam into the cage leaves Hornswoggle lying, and even Vince says that's enough as JBL leaves. This was more intense than I would have bet on, with the commentary being silent making it better. Alright, so instead we could just have JBL beat up Hornswoggle. JBL destroys Hornswoggle, with even Vince telling him that's enough. So basically just the same again. John, Vince, Sorry, it's just nosing on the dogs outside my window. John, Vince, Hornswoggle, Finley. Nice. Here's Santino and Maria for a chat. We get a poll on if Maria should pose for Playboy, with 94% saying yes. Santino announces that Maria is posing, but Beth cuts him off for a match that Maria doesn't seem to know was coming. No Playboy unless Maria wins. Is this a storyline? Yeah, kinda. The WWE Universe, in fact, Beth Phoenix challenges Maria. Santino says if Maria wins, she can pose for Playboy. God, someone should document the downfall of Playboy, because who really gives a shit about it now? Like, it used to be all over, like, oh, I don't know, Jacqueline's posing for Playboy. Beth Phoenix, Santino Maria, and now it's just kind of like, it's a thing that exists. Hugh Hefner's dead, I think. Don't know. I think there was a lot of abuse there. Beth slams her down with ease to start. Cue the returning Candice Michelle for the distraction though, and Maria grabs a roll-up. Hell yeah. Let's just add Candice Michelle to this. Hope she's doing okay. I feel like I've only heard nice things about her. So Beth against Maria. With Maria winning. Keep Beth Phoenix strong. And it's a distraction finish on Beth from Candice. Oh, is she back? Is she not back? Back strain, she isn't back. We'll make it a flash pinfall then. How long is she out for? 12 more days. I need to edit that. She needs to come back Sunday the 17th of February. And also Vince needs to be active as a wrestler. I don't know if I did that. Is it under starting absences? So ends on... What did I say? Must be Sunday because she comes back on the 18th. Boom. And then... Workers. Oh, nice. Oh, no. That's TNA, isn't it? Who's he under? Vince McMahon. Have I already done this? I'm unsure. Occasional wrestler. Contracts, WWE. I guess we'll keep him like this, but can tick occasional wrestler. Yeah, it's fine. Save. Jobs are good. Nice. So what happens next? We then just go straight into Randy Orton against... Can we have Candice just... Yeah. The returning Candice distracts Beth, leading to Maria getting the win. Candice, Beth, and Maria. 3 minutes should be fine. Santino as well. So at some point, maybe next month, depending on how work is, because I'm trying to get a new job, need more hours. I may do a 12-hour stream of TEW. It's something I've been toying with in my head for a while. Just being like, I don't know. I think I can kill 3 hours on a save. And then, yeah, full 12-hour stream. I feel like I can kill 3 hours on a save, usually. You absolutely will show up at that time. Yeah, I think I can kill 3 hours. So what's that? Just do that 4 times. Probably at some point stop, eat some food, put some wrestling on. It's gotten to be a running bit now, and I can only apologise for it. How long do we have left? 47. Let's stretch this to half an hour. But it's just a thought. It's a thought. I'd need to look at all... Because what's that? Like 3 hours of AEW. 3 hours of this. I'll do some 1992. What other saves am I doing? AEW 2008, 92. Yeah. Maybe bring back some old things. And maybe just dot about on some things. But it's just not. It probably won't happen. But I just thought it could be a bit of a blast, bit of fun, hang out. So we hit the chin lock, so Cena is up fast, only to miss a charge into the corner as he still can't keep anything going. Cena shrugs off a run into the buckle and initiates the finishing sequence, but Orton grabs the rope to block the FU. They head outside with Cena being sent into the steps, but the RKO is countered into the STFU. The rope is grabbed, so Cena yells at Triple H, only to duck a cheap shot from Orton. A quick FU sends Cena to WrestleMania. I felt myself reading that really badly. Triple H pedigrees both of them and poses with the title to end the show. Both of them and poses with the title to end the show. Triple H, Randy, John. Cena, Randy, Triple H, boom. Nice. So 8 more minutes. Let's see if we got exclude booked. Bare people just aren't getting booked, but I would like to stick Charlie over. I do like Tadges. What is he? Heel. What if we did just Charlie Has and Lance Storm? Is this Lance Storm? Is he just debuting? Employment history? Is that a thing we can check? Either way. Let's stick them just against the Highlanders. Yeah, exclude booked should absolutely be by default. Not Lance Cade. Lance Storm. I feel like that could be a setting, but I guess not. Yeah. How long do we need to kill? 8 minutes. Let's stick Charlie Has over. Cool. I just want to get him on the show. And then who do we have on the pre-show? Let's stick Tadges over. In fact, Mark Henry over Lance Cade. Boom. Henry goes over. Who's a local boy? Says that, but he debuted early. Did he really debut in 2004? Either way, that needs a more up-to-date picture. Same with Chase Owens needs a younger picture. Same with Casey McKnight. Let's use young Vinny. Heel should be fine. Vinny against Yoshihiro Tadges. Pre-show. Tajiri goes over. Easy, happy, job's a good one. Let's go. Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch are an awkward pairing. Where's Lance Cade? None. None. They can team together. I guess maybe not manage each other. Whatever. Vinny took on Tajiri. 55, not bad. His Japanese buzzsaw gimmick got poor, but doesn't really matter too much. Got the Raw opening. Real books Orton versus Cena. Cena wins. WrestleMania becomes a triple threat. In a decent match, Jeff Hardy defeated Snitsky in 707 by pinfall with the Swanton Bomb. Shawn Michaels comes out and announces that Ric Flair will be entering the WWE Hall of Fame. In a bout which had decent wrestling but little heat, Paul Burchill defeated Super Crazy in 607 by pinfall with a C4. Happy for Burchill. Randy tries to create an alliance with Triple H, who just rejects him. Charlie Haas and Lance Storm defeat the Highlanders when Haas submitted Rory McAllister with a Haas of Pain. We got a recap, the returning Big Show, No Way Out. Let me just turn him here. And Big Show apologises for attacking Rey Mysterio last week. Video on Money in the Bank. In an extremely short match, Kennedy defeated Kid Cash in 504 with a Green Bay plunge. Finlay wants to fight Hornswoggle, but is told to leave as JBL attacks him. In a bout which had decent reaction from the crowd but terrible wrestling, JBL defeated Hornswoggle in 105 with a clothesline from hell. JBL destroys Hornswoggle, with even Vince telling him that's enough. Beth Phoenix, who, I did spell right, class, challenges Maria. Santino says if Maria wins, she can pose for Playboy. And in a bout which had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Maria defeated Beth in 630 by pinfall with a roll-up. Let me just, since TEW never gets having a face manager, heel wrestler, or even the other way around, they don't understand it. The returning Candice distracts Beth, leading to Maria getting the win. And in the main event, in a bout which had fantastic heat and great wrestling, Cena defeated Orton in 31-11 by pinfall with an FU. Triple H pedigrees both of them and poses with the title to end the show. 21, nice, needed that. I don't necessarily care about the financial. If you're playing as WWE, the financial stuff is fine. You'd have to work real hard to bankrupt WWE. How's the music since I changed it? Is it at least like listenable? Can you hear it without it being too much? Because I have my own volume turned down, so I can't really hear anything but myself. I don't think we need to do much, so we can... Oh yes, let's check our... Yes, we have Mirko Cro Cop coming in to fight instead of Floyd Mayweather. That's sound. Let me quickly get up ECW on Sci-Fi. Here it is. Oh, February 19th. Nice. We're done with No Way Out and on our way to WrestleMania. Once again, where were we last? Southeast it is. Locker room incidents. John Cone has been influenced by Kane. Regal ran some drills. Regal ran more drills. So what's going on? So Ric Flair is kind of doing the rounds. Oh yes, he isn't on a brand, that's fine. So we have the ECW opening. Hi, pre-taped video, 1 minute. Taz congratulates Flair on entering the Hall of Fame. Burke insults him, and the fight is on. And the fight, there we go, is on until Punk saves. So we have Taz, I guess as the interviewer, Rick cutting a promo, Elijah cutting a promo, CM Punk, we'll say cutting a promo. Nice. Post break, Burke and Benjamin aren't happy, so Armando makes the tag match. And Benjamin aren't happy, so Armando makes a tag team match. I don't know what's going on with my typing today. Normally at least a little better. CM and Ric Flair. CM, so that's from personal friends with him. We then get Kofi Kingston against Jason Riggs. Trouble in Paradise gives Kofi the win. Instead we can do Aaron Stevens against Kofi. Surely, yeah, we wouldn't have done this match. Quick win for Mr. Kingston. Still with the Jamaican accent. Post-match, Kofi says he will keep on winning. God, what a stupid pro. I'm going to keep winning. Sure you are, Kofi. At least say something. Oh, that was a hard-fought battle. Look back at Vince and JBL destroying Hornswoggle and Finlay on Raw. I can't wait to either have like a super hard brand split or just not at all. Because as much as I enjoy a brand split, when watching WWE, got The Miz against Colin Delaney. Delaney gets in a few shots, so Morrison offers a distraction. That's enough to earn himself an ejection, and Delaney grabs a roll up for 2. Miz isn't having this, and Reality checks him for the pin. The Miz against Colin Delaney. The Miz wins at ringside. Jomo. Is this a storyline that's kind of happening? SmackDown. We can add Colin Delaney. Wait, what storyline is he in? Alright, yeah, that's fine. This is a storyline. And then post-match, Dreamer goes after The Miz, but the villains beat down both Dreamer and Delaney. Dreamer tries to save Colin, but Miz and Morrison beat them down. Tommy, Colin, The Miz, and Jomo. 3 minutes should be fine. And then get a look back at Maria defeating Beth to earn the right to pose for Playboy. Pre-taped video, 1 minute. Nice. Just use these as little hype segments. We then get Stevie Richards against James Curtis. A running splash in the corner sets up the Stevie T to finish Curtis fast. Not too much happening on this B show, ECW. Stephen Richards against, what's the other guy? James Curtis. We then get the Raw rebound, which I know all about. See, this is kind of giving me spoilers for if I ever get 4 hours into my save. 4 hours, 4 years. Hype, pre-taped video, 1 minute. ECW was a weird thing in hindsight. Like, it had some decent enough stuff. Like, this next match is CM Punk and Ric Flair against Shelton Benjamin and Elijah Burke. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, Daniel Bryanson has... Is that his name? Bryan Danielson. Confused. Has expressed interest in booking Ring of Honor himself, and I think that would be really cool if he did that. Like, this match alone is mental. It's so cool. It feels like a slice out of time. Like, you'd never. This is 2 eras put together. These are the few things that ECW did right. I assume this is the main event, yeah. Back in, and Punk escapes a powerbomb and hits a jumping enziguri, allowing the tag back to Flair. Everything breaks down, and Benjamin kicks Flair's leg out to break up a suplex. The Elijah Express misses though, and Flair figure fours him for the win. I do really like Ring of Honor, and I hope I know AEW is doing fine things with them, but I wish they kind of pushed for a bit more. Flair and Punk pose together to end the show. CM Punk, Ric Flair, Elijah and Shelton. And we just need one quick 8-minute match. There's no one necessarily down here. Should we stick Bobby Lashley? I don't know when he ends up leaving, but let's stick him over Festus. I honestly couldn't care less about Festus. How long do we need? 8. Yeah. Stick Lashley over. You looking forward to Halloween, Timu? Do you have any spooky based plans? Isn't it Timu? Timu is what am I thinking of? I don't know, man. My head's all over the shop at the moment. ECW opening. Taz congratulates Flair on entering the Hall of Fame. Burke insults him, and the fight is on until Punk saves. Burke and Benjamin aren't happy, so Armando makes a tag match. Kofi defeats Aaron Stevens in 506 by pinfall. You usually watch the 78 Halloween. Timu? How else would you pronounce it? I don't know. That Halloween is my favourite. I also appreciate the two or three sequels that came out. Your real name. My apologies. Your shoot name. Yeah, I appreciate. Oh. Well, you learn something new every day. Yeah, I like the newer sequels that came out of Halloween that kind of retconned everything in between. I've created a little movie marathon list that I want to get through throughout the whole month of October. Currently watching the Twilight films. Not that they're part of it, just thought I'd say. They're not good. You can have a bit of a laugh though, but they're not good. Look back at Vince and JBL destroying Finlay and Hornswoggle on Raw. Miz defeated Colin Delaney in 637 with a Wizard of Oz. And Dreamer tries to save Colin, but Miz and Morrison beat them down. Lashley defeats Festus in 547 with a spear. Yeah, Chris Stewart. Currently on Break and Dawn Part 2, so the final. Could watch the final tonight. Also watching Stranger Things, because the last season starts at the end of November. And I thought, the Halloweeny, might as well watch them. Might as well finish the show. It's pretty good. Look back at Maria defeating Beth to earn the right to pose for Playboy. Stevie Richards defeats James Curtis in 940 with a Stevie T. Raw rebound. And in the main event, Punk and Flair defeated Burke and Benjamin when Flair submitted Burke with a figure 4. Flair and Punk posed together to end the show. We use Elijah Burke too much. I kind of understand that. So where is SmackDown? 19 Feb 2008. They're pretty good. They're actually pretty good. At least I think the first season of Stranger Things is incredible. I do think it kind of goes on a bit much after that. Like, it gets too big. The first season feels very Stephen King-y. Feels very 80s. Alright, better find a different review of... Okay. Yeah, different review of this SmackDown. Nice. Booking team meeting, all is good. Locker room incidents, that's fine. Don't need to address the locker room. We can do a wee little SmackDown opening. Scripted's fine unless anyone objects. So we kick off with Edge in the Edgeheads. Edge gets on the mic and brags about weakening Rey Mysterio at a house show, then taking him out at No Way Out. At WrestleMania, he now gets a chance to face The Undertaker. He's not afraid of The Undertaker. He sees Taker as an opportunity to cement his legacy. The Undertaker is undefeated at WrestleMania, just like Edge. Except when he lost last year in a ladder match, but we won't count that. For 15 years, people have asked who will beat The Undertaker. Everyone who has stood up has fallen down, but Edge says he will not fall. Cue The Undertaker with the Edgeheads getting attacked and Edge running away. So storyline. Sweet. So SmackDown. Edge against Rey. Instead, remove that. Edge versus Taker. Add worker. The Undertaker. Ooh. Oh, I'll be in this. Sorry, just replying to some messages. End this storyline. Edge versus Taker. So let's add in The Undertaker, Kurt Hawkins, and Zack Ryder, and Vicky. Vicky! So, Edge says he will be the one to dethrone, to defeat Taker at Mania. The lights go out with Edgeheads being attacked. I don't feel like that's going to fit. But Edgeheads being attacked. Edgehead, lights go out, Edgeheads are attacked. Edge cutting a promo. Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Vicky, The Undertaker, I guess character. We then get Jimmy Wang Yang against Shelton in the Money in the Bank qualifying match. You can presume who wins this. Rolling kick by Yang, and he nails a top rope crossbody for a near fall. Sunset flip by Yang for 2. He misses the moonsault, and Benjamin nails the running STO for the win. This actually, they said that this was a mental match, so steal the show. Storyline. Let's add Money in the Bank. Remove Snitsky now. Let's add Big Shelton. Big Shaq. In the back, Teddy Long meets up with Maurice. She wants to talk to Long in private, so they go into his office. Maurice wants to talk to Teddy Long in private. In private, Jesus. Maurice. Teddy? Oh, Theodore, sorry. Taz removed. Backstage. 3 minutes. We then get Juice and Domino against Jesse and Festus. Tag to Festus, and he just Goldbergs all over Juice and Domino. He nails huge kicks to both men. He tags Jesse, launches him from the top rope, and Jesse gets the pin on Domino. Instead of Jesse and Festus, I don't know, let's do a 3-way tag team. Let's have Jesse and Festus, Deuce and Domino. I'm just quickly flicking through. Matt Jackson's on this. Yeah, I'm going to stick the A list on instead. In fact, the tag champs, they don't need to be. Let's stick the Edgeheads in. And I'm going to have Zack Ryder get the win. Doesn't seem to be any more angles on this review of the SmackDown. /22/08. Let's see if we get a different review of this one. Oh, this one seems to come up. Edgeheads. So then we get the Raw rebound. It just doesn't look like there's a lot of angles on this. Rebound. Hype pre-taped video. 1 minute. We then get Shannon Moore against Big Daddy V. The swinging Bossman slam plants Moore and V sends him flying again. A missed charge lets Moore kick away a few times until V runs him over. Big elbow finishes Shannon Moore off. As expected. Nice. Match. Shannon Moore, who I do like a lot, and I'll probably keep around, even if he is just jobbing. I also really like Big Daddy V. I felt like Viscera finally felt like a monster. We then get MVP against Batista. Before, MVP says Batista can't beat him twice in a row. I think we can presume what's going to happen. Is he MVP or Montel? Montel. Cutting a promo on Big Dave. There we go. In the ring. 3 minutes should be fine. Batista against Montel. The front face lock goes on back inside, setting up a face buster for 2 on Batista. That doesn't last long though, as Batista is back with 3 straight spine busters and a Batista bomb to finish. We then get, for whatever reason, a medical update on Hornswoggle after what happened to him and Finlay on Raw. Yeah, they're really pushing this Hornswoggle angle. 2 minutes should be fine. We then get Great Khali against Kane. The slug out continues with Kane hitting an uppercut but getting caught up top. We hit the nerve hold and then the vice grip, but Kane kicks out the corner and falls backwards for the pin. Kane against the Great Khali. Stick Kane over. Because they're really going into these monsters. Video on the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. It's a pre-taped video. 2 minutes should actually be fine. We then get Chuck Palumbo against Matt Jackson. Yes, that Matt Jackson. But instead we can do Andrew the Vane. Solid, I don't know, 3 minutes. Palumbo going over. We then get a medical update on Rey Mysterio. Update on Rey Mysterio, who says he won't be at Mania. Kind of promo. So it's a pre-taped video, outside broadcast. 2 minutes. Where's SmackDown? Edge against Taker. We can still add Ray to this. And Vicky. Oh, nice, here it is. And Chavo. To be honest, we need to make a Big Show storyline, but Vicky Guerrero says she doesn't care that Ray is injured and books him against Chavo. Ooh, what a baddie. Vicky, Ray, Chavo. God, this is our main event. 3 minutes. Ray against Chavo. Non-title match. Chavo catches Ray up top, only to get knocked down to set up a top rope seated senton. The basement drop kick gets 2 more, and the 619 has Chavo down. Ray's arm won't let it hit the string board though, allowing Chavo to catch him. Three Amigos has Ray in trouble, but he avoids the frog splash, allowing Ray to come back with the sunset flip and the win. At ringside, Vicky. Let's add... Did I put Ray in this in a major? Ray and Big Show. Ray, Big Show. Let's just take this W off. Add Vicky. Yeah. And Chavo. Vicky says it's her turn to hurt Ray, who brings out Big Show to destroy him. Nice. And that kind of sets out Ray out indefinitely. Vicky. Big Show. Big Show? Oh, Big Show's on Raw. No. Vicky, Ray, Chavo. And we can add Big Show. Solid. Let's just knock a couple of minutes off some matches. %, so would not be penalised. Let's stick, I don't know. Who's down here? Kofi can beat Kid Cash. And in a tag match, who do we have down here? Tadges and Stevie against Mike Knox and James Curtis. Nice. Let's run SmackDown. The pre-show bout, that's subpar wrestling and little heat. Kofi defeated Cash in 10:26 by pinfall. Tajiri and Stevie Richards defeated James Curtis and Mike Knox when Tajiri pinned Curtis with a buzzsaw kick. Got the SmackDown opening. And Edge says he'll be the one to defeat Taker at Mania. The lights go out and the Edgeheads are attacked as Edge saves himself. Good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Shelton defeated Jimmy Wang Yang in 6:22 with a Dragon Whip. Maurice wants to talk to Teddy Long in private. In a poor match, the Edgeheads defeated Jesse and Festus and Juice and Domino when Ryder submitted Festus. Got the Raw rebound. And Big Daddy V defeated Shannon Moore in 3:54 with a sex drive. MVP says Batista can't beat him twice in a row. Batista defeats MVP in 10:18 with a spinebuster. We then get a medical update on Hornswoggle after what happened to him and Finlay on Raw. Kane defeated Carly in 6:47 by pinfall with a chokeslam. And then we see a video on The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania streak. Chuck Palumbo defeated Andrew Vane in 2:40 by pinfall. And we then see a medical update on Rey Mysterio, who says he won't be able to compete at WrestleMania. Vicky says she doesn't care that Ray's injured and books him tonight against Chavo. In a good match, Ray defeats Chavo in 14:53 by pinfall with a top rope Hurricane Rana. Vicky says it's her turn to hurt Ray, who brings out the Big Show to destroy him. Yeah, not our best show. I think we all knew that would happen. I just hope the TV broadcasters aren't too aggy. What'll be next? Raw 25. Nice. TNA Impact. AJ is said to be the star of the show. Kurt Angle defeats Abyss and Kevin Nash in a cage match. And Sting and Booker T defeat Samoa Joe and Black Rain. That just looks like a banger of a show, to be honest. New champion in the NWA. What do people think of SmackDown? Do a lot of praise. Oh, nice. At least the broadcasters aren't shouting at me. It's 5 days and see how the world goes. Surely it can't all go that bad. I think we can book Raw and then kind of call it for the stream. I like to try and keep these around the hour and a half time limit. Because that just makes it a little easier to render and upload. Chris Guy wants to be called up. Batista's dating someone. Kozlov wants to be called up. I feel like Kozlov... Oh, there we go. I feel like Kozlov is eventually. Oh. Just uploaded a Tony Hawk's video today, which took kind of an extended hiatus, even though I had all the footage. I just want to finish it before the end of the year, so it doesn't mess with the titles. And then we can decide what game to play next. Oh, if only I had my second monitor. Can we no longer... Is Bobby Lashley leaving? I don't want Bobby Lashley to leave. Bobby Lashley. I want to keep him. Nice. Keep him for another year. I'm happy to have him. I would love to try and build him up again. So, what's our venue? Southeast now? Oh no, we've just been there. Northwest. Valentin and Christopher DeJost have got in a heated argument. Sean was on fine form. Duggan brought pizza. JBL New Maga got in an argument. Murdoch and Hayes got in an argument. Regal did some training. Nice. So let's have our Raw opening. Hype, pre-taped, video, uno minute. Scripted's fine, no one seems to really be complaining. We open with a recap of John Cena being Orton, only to have Triple H lay them both out. Cena defeating Orton only to lay them both out. Randy, John, Triple H. Pre-taped video, 1 minute sound. Orton, Cena and Triple H are in the ring for what appears to be a photo opportunity moderated by Regal. With the photos taken, each one gets to say something. Cena goes first and says he was raised that if you have a problem with someone, you say it to their face. He gets in Triple H's face and says thanks for not throwing out last week's match and allowing Cena to go to WrestleMania. But he does have a problem with the pedigree. Cena remembers Triple H tapping out at WrestleMania, which is enough for Triple H to take off his jacket. The stare down is on, but Orton says one thing is going to remain the same. He will still be WWE champ. You might even say the champ is here. Orton says the two of them can't do anything about it, which is enough for the fight to be on. Orton takes them both out with RKOs. Cena, Orton, and Triple H. All in the ring. They argue until both getting RKO'd. Yeah, that's enough. John Cena, Randy, Triple H, and William Regal. I don't know. 10 minutes should be enough. Backstage, Mr. Kennedy tells Orton he's going to win Money in the Bank and cash in on the same night. Nice. And Orton tells him to expect violence if that happens. He's like, it doesn't matter who wins. When I win Money in the Bank, I'm going to come out as champion. Which, if I think he does win this, and I might do that, to be honest. We then get Carlito and Santino against Hardcore Holly and Cody Rhodes. Hard Rhodes against Caribbean Cool. A swinging neckbreaker drops Rhodes for 2, but he Russian leg sweeps his way to freedom. Holly comes in to clear house, as Lawler throws his crown at Maria to get her attention. The distraction lets Holly slam Morella off the top and hit the Alabama Slam for the win. Nice little Hardcore Holly victory. We recap Big Show. Oh, yeah. Big Show runs into Mirko Crow Cop. He says he'll stick up for Ray and challenges him. Roster, Ray. Let's just stick him on No Brand. Backstage. 3 minutes. Sorry. Oh, that was such a big sneeze. It hurt my heart. Oh, Jesus. Let's add Mirko to this. And Ray can be off screen. Sweet, sweet. That shoehorns that in since we can't get Floyd. WrestleMania press conference is set up as Crow Cop and Big Show sign a match contract. Does it say who's there? No. Let's just do Ray, Vince, Steph, Shane, Big Show, and Crow Cop. Yeah. 5 minutes in the ring, should we sound? Regal, Bucks, Kennedy, and Orton. Versus Triple H and Cena. William Regal with Mr. Kennedy, Randy Orton, Triple H, Big John. Has John retired yet, or does he have a bit more? I know he lost to Lesnar, but I didn't know if that was his last match. We then get Jeff Hardy against Chris Jericho. And even though Jeff Hardy's already through, if Chris Jericho wins, he gets into Money in the Bank. You can presume what happens. Jeff against Chris Jericho. Hardy loads up a Hurricane Rana, but gets countered into the walls, sending Hardy over to the rope. Jericho gets dropped again, but is fine enough to avoid the Swanton. The Lion Salt connects for 2, so Jericho tries the walls again. With that broken up, Jericho grabs a roll-up for the fast win. Jericho, steal a show, flash pinfall. Here is Vince McMahon to discuss Hornswoggle's beating last week. Vince says it was a mistake, as Hornswoggle was beaten into oblivion by JBL. Therefore, he wants to apologise to Hornswoggle, and wants JBL out here, right now. JBL apologises for not doing it sooner. See, he has it on good advice that Hornswoggle is not Vince's son, but rather Finley's. But Finley knew the entire time, and JBL has the documentation to prove it. And now JBL is going to make Finley pay. JBL tells Vince Hornswoggle was never his son, but Finley's, and he can prove it. John, not Victoria, Vince, Finley off screen, and Hornswoggle off screen. In the ring, 4 minutes is fine. Cena tells Triple H, you can do quotation. We don't have to like each other. We just have to work together. Triple H, John, talking about Randy and Mr. Kennedy. Backstage, 3 minutes. We then get Umaga against Harry Smith. A splash, running hip attack, and the Samoan spike finishes Smith off in a hurry. I like Umaga a lot. We go to William Regal's office, where the Burchills are impressed with Umaga. Regal says he's perfect, as he has received a challenge from Vicky Guerrero for a Raw vs SmackDown showdown at WrestleMania. Katie Lee thinks Paul would be better, but Regal needs to see more first. The Burchills go to leave, but Paul comes back to say Katie might like Regal. I don't even know what that's meant to mean. Regal says he received an offer from Vicky for a SmackDown vs Raw match at Mania. Just William Regal cutting a promo, Umaga, Katie Lee, and Paul Burchill. Like a backstage 3 minutes, whatever. Whatever that's happening, that can happen. We then get Lance Cade against Shawn Michaels. Shawn misses the top rope elbow but manages to pull Cade into the crossface. That's enough for Murdoch to run in for the DQ. Interference on Shawn by Trevor. Post-match, Shawn clears house and has a bloody nose. Cue Ric Flair to interrupt. Flair can't believe what an honour it is to be the first active wrestler in the Hall of Fame. The one thing he wants to do is make it even better to wrestle Shawn at Mania. Shawn brings up the "you lose you're done" stipulation, and he doesn't want to be the one to end Flair's career. Flair doesn't like Shawn's tone, because who says Flair would be losing? All the respect that Shawn gave him last week means nothing if Shawn doesn't accept this match. That's enough for Shawn, and he's in. Flair comes out and challenges Shawn at WrestleMania. If he loses, he will retire. Rick and Shawn. So the Nature Boy, yep, that's fine. Money in the Bank now is Chris Jericho, that's fine. Yeah, happy with that. We then get John Cena and Triple H against Mr. Kennedy and Randy Orton. Nope, it's a 2v2. John Cena, Triple H against Randy and Mr. Kennedy. Let's make it 25 minutes. We hit the chin lock to keep Triple H in trouble before Orton sends him out onto the apron. Triple H finally kicks Kennedy down, but Orton is right there to block the hot tag to Cena. The RKO is blocked though, and Triple H calls in the tag to Cena to clean house. Orton has to break up the FU on Kennedy, so Triple H takes Orton outside, leaving Kennedy to tap to the STFU. Post-match, Cena and Triple H have a stare down, allowing Kennedy to mic check Cena to end the show. Cena and Triple H have a stare down, allowing Kennedy to mic check Cena to end the show. I like Mr. Kennedy. Did he ever win? I don't think he ever won the title. So let's remove Mark Henry, add Mr. Kennedy on a supporting role. Let's just change this to Maria and Playboy. Yeah, that's fine. This is kind of going on. That is going on, and that is going on. That's also going on, and now Mirko Cro Cop's in it. Sweet, sweet. All is good. Let's stick Bobo over Snitsky. And let's also have, I don't know. Let's have Robbie lose to Paul Burchill. Sweet. And now let's run 59% so not be penalised. What's booking analysis saying? Mr. Kennedy's been used too much. Never. In a pre-show bout which had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Lashley defeated Snitsky in 10:02 with the spear, and Burchill defeated Robbie in 10:01 with the C4. We've got the Raw opening. Then get a recap of Cena defeating Orton, only for Triple H to lay them both out. Cena, Orton and Triple H are all in the ring. They argue before both getting RKO'd. Backstage, Mr. Kennedy tells Orton he's going to win Money in the Bank and cash in on the same night at WrestleMania. In a bout which had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Hard Rhodes defeated Caribbean Cool when Holly pinned Santino with an Alabama Slam. Big Show runs into Cro Cop. He says he'll stick up for Ray and challenges him to a match at WrestleMania. We then set up a WrestleMania press conference, and it's announced that Cro Cop and Big Show will have a match, and they sign the contract. Regal books Kennedy and Orton versus Triple H and Cena in the main event tonight. In a superb match, Jericho defeated Jeff Hardy in 12:02 with a fast roll-up to enter Money in the Bank. JBL tells Vince Hornswoggle was never his son, but Finley's, and he can prove it with the documentation he has. Cena tells Triple H, we don't like each other, we just have to work together. In an extremely short match, Umaga defeated Harry Smith in 308 by pinfall with a top rope splash. Regal then announces he received an offer from Vicky for a SmackDown vs Raw match at WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels defeated Lance Cade in 10:05 when Cade was disqualified after Trevor Murdoch ran in and attacked Shawn. Shawn clears house and Flair comes out and challenges Shawn at WrestleMania. He says if he loses, he will retire. And then in our main event, Cena and Triple H defeated Orton and Kennedy when Cena submitted Kennedy with the SCFU. Cena and Triple H have a stare down, allowing Kennedy to mic check Cena to end the show. Solid, made up for the bad SmackDown show. Ron Killen's always looking timeless. I reckon there probably could be a better picture, but not the end of the world. With that said, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you, Timu, for hanging out, spending some time. And I'll see you all for the next one. Stay safe, look after each other. Have a lovely day.